It's so hot. I didn't even realize I didn't press play. I'm just crazy.
Hey.
Hey girl, what's up? How you doing? I'm your girl Adi Divine, and I'll be your host for tonight. So hey, how y'all doing? It's been a couple of days. I actually don't know how long it's been. I'm recording this on a different day, so I hope y'all are doing good. I hope you didn't get hit by a bus. But hey, how y'all doing? You look good tonight. What are you wearing? That looks so cute. Last time we spoke, I think I was explaining how a character was completely ruined and how she was thrown to the curb when she wasn't useful anymore. Is that right? Do you remember? So, as you may know, this is a continuation to the video that I had done before about Haley Dunphy and how her character had gone from such a massive rise to such a huge fall in just a couple of seasons. And in this video, this is just a part 2 to the first side of the video, and I'm just going to be detailing more of the sides of what has happened with Haley's character and just detailing on certain aspects that I have noticed. Disclaimer, all of this is my opinion. Everything that I will be saying in this video is my opinion, so please do not come for me and please do not judge me, because I'm a shy girl. I can't take judgment that easily, okay? I will cry at night if you say something mean about me, okay? First things first, I do want to mention the fact that I do not look completely done. I do have a bonnet on and I'm still wearing my pajamas. Do not say anything. Please and thank you. It was an aesthetic choice. I was being very lazy and I didn't do it. I just did my makeup and then I was like, I'm tired. Let me just get over with this shit and get on with my day. And I did it. So if you got something to say, like I said, don't say it. I'm a very sensitive girl. So just as a recap of last episode, I discussed the fact of who Haley Dunphy was, what her character bases were, and I described how one of her best relationships, in my opinion again, was, and how that relationship built up such an amazing character in so many ways. So in this video, we're gonna dive in some negative so get ready, get your waters, be ready, be prepared. I have said this last video. If you still ain't got your water today, what are you doing? What are you actually doing? Go get your water. Thank you. Damn. So, just to recap for the people that haven't heard it already or don't know, Haley Dunphy is a character from a very popular show called Modern Family, and throughout this whole episode, we will just be discussing certain characters. Like, for example, I have mentioned Andy Bailey in my other video, and I did also mention most of Haley's family, which include Phil Dunphy, Claire Dunphy, Alex Dunphy, and Luke Dunphy. But we're not gonna really mention most of those characters anyways, so I'm just giving you a feeling on the characters. If you want to know about it, just go watch the show. The last point that I made was that I genuinely did believe that Andy was one of the best guys for Haley, as Haley, both in their relationship, grew so much and her character development was absolutely astronomical when she was with Andy. And I did truly believe that Andy and Haley's relationship was one of the healthiest relationships she had ever had. So just to pick up from those points I had made in that video, I will be discussing now how Haley basically had a repetition of her own character and how a lot of things from Haley from season 1, season 2, season 3 proceeded to come back around season 7, season 8, season 9 and so on. Colombia! Me encanto! My high belief is that after Haley and Andy's relationship, Haley's character and all of her developments were completely thrown in the trash, as I felt like she stepped back in circumstances where she should have stepped forward. A lot of her past characteristics started to show again, and a lot of her actions that she did have during the first season started to show again. And I completely stand for certain characters going back to some of the characteristics that they had towards the first season. I'm completely fine with it as long as it makes sense with the plot of the whole show. Like, oh, they proceeded to go back to that characteristic because they were never really a good guy or they were never actually going to do any work, yada yada yada. But we have seen Ailey being able to do the type of work. We have seen her genuinely work hard for something that she truly loved. The next thing that I'm going to say is going to sound extremely mean, but I don't care. So I do believe also that Haley, with her going back to her past characteristic, did go back to the Haley Dunphy from the earlier seasons, in which I mean that she went back to her only being a lover girl, only being the girl that was known for getting the guys, only being known for the girl that had a lot of boyfriends, only being known as, like the popular girl trope from like the early seasons. And all her fashion drive or her passion for actual hard work were just thrown out the window. I do want to set down the fact that I am not judging the fact that Haley is very much a lover girl. I'm not judging the fact that she very much had like a lot of boyfriends and yada yada. I'm not judging that at all. Go ahead, slay queen, get your boyfriends, get your money, get your dough. But if getting a boyfriend and basically living the lover life ends up with you having to give up a massive side of your career and giving up a bunch of your passions and giving up a lot of characteristic growth that you did have, you're not very much slaying, girl. You're not doing what you were meant to do. As much as I wouldn't like to throw a dagger towards the writers slash producers, I do feel like I have to, because why is it that you decided to upgrade a character like Haley, upgrade her, give her so much passion, give her so much care, and then proceeded to downgrade her? What are you doing? Are you crazy? Why did you do that? And I have a very like plausible reason as to why I believe they wanted to do that to Haley. I will be talking about later on in the video, but for now we just gotta I do believe that the writers going back to first season's Haley, whilst they were literally at season 8, season 9, was a very lazy writing for her, as they proceeded to just bring her back to the same characteristics because they felt like it was a safe option for them. But every single time that I felt like I looked at Haley, a character that I generally resonated with, I felt like I was looking at a shell, an empty shell that had the sole purpose of just dating around. I feel like they found the easiest characteristics with Haley and they just proceeded to stick with that, as they felt like Haley is such an easy character to go back towards that because, people fall back into their ways and everything, which is true. But you can't just develop a character up to a point where she's doing so great and then after that you just get lazy and get tired of the character. You don't want to focus too much on the character anymore. You just drop everything that they have worked for and you have worked for this character. And in the end of it, I do believe that Haley proceeded to fall into a role that was not meant for her. To which I am not bashing her for being a mother. In the scenes that we have seen her working as a mother, we have seen her work so hard to be the best that she could generally be. But for her to just fall back into such a basic role was extremely unlikable. It wasn't something that we saw Haley getting up to. I felt like it would have been best to have a character at the very beginning of the season, just seeing her as like, the popular character. She's just mean, she cares about fashion, she's just very much a lover girl. She's like like popular characters in like the early 2000s. And then as she grew, she started realizing the purpose of her life and started like focusing on certain stuff that she generally did want. As I have mentioned before, Haley was shown as a character that realized that she had to work hard for the things that she really wanted in life. And as the character realized that they had to do that, they proceeded to gain more characteristics out of this, gain more purpose, gain more, I don't want to say emotions, I want to say, what's the word? What's her name? Gain more personality. have something that isn't just the same as the very beginning of the season. And I felt like they just began with Haley in the same way that I just described, gave Haley the opportunity to develop, and then in the third base, they were just like, we don't want to continue with this. So they went back to first base and just left it like that, which is absolutely so disappointing. I remember when I first watched Modern Family to the fullest because I did take breaks in between it for some reason. But when I first did watch Modern Family, I had seen Haley as such a massive influencer. She was basically an influencer before influencing even began. And I had thought that Haley would have become either a very much big fashion icon or she would have even become the next Gavin Sinclair. But to then get so disappointed to see Haley turn into a copy of Claire was something else. Hey. So, this is editing me. Whilst I was editing, my friend did send me like a very helpful post, and I just wanted to share it with you people because it adds a lot to what I said as well. And I don't know, I just wanted to show it to you people. Just look and see. There was a post that she did find, and in the post it does say that Sarah Hyland, the actress that did play Haley Dunphy, actually wasn't very happy with the ending of Haley Dunphy, and she thought there was something greater that would have happened with her character. And I quote, Hyland expected the character's arc to have ended with a blossoming career in the fashion industry rather than being the mom of twins. After a highly successful 11-season run, Modern Family came to an end in April of 2020. While this conclusion may have been satisfying for many of those involved in the show's production, one of the stars didn't quite share that feeling. Sarah Hyland, who portrayed Haley Dunphy in all 11 seasons, expressed her disappointment with the character's ultimate fate in the series. Hyland expected the character's arc to have ended with a blossoming career in the fashion industry rather than being the mom of twins. After all, Haley took up an interest in fashion after she was expelled from college. Her concerns bring to mind the early criticism the show received for portraying its female characters as stay-at-home moms. She couldn't have said it better, people. So that's all I needed to say, and let's get back to what I was talking about. Bye. Now, through the newer seasons, or well, newer in quotation marks as they did come out like ages ago, we do see Haley just spend most of her time with her husband or spend most of her time with her children, as her character just mainly revolves around her having her husband with Dylan and her having her children with Poppy and George. There's nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely like adorable to see them all get on together. Like the last episode was one of my favorite episodes because seeing them move into Mitch and Cam's house was actually, I was crying when I saw that. I was generally just tearing up. Another thing I want to talk about is also the fact that we do focus a lot on her husband and her children, but when was the last time that we actually saw any major episodes with Haley, especially talking about her job? I remember when Andy proceeded to help her get the job with Gavin Sinclair, and that was like a major episode. And then when she proceeded to get the job with NERP, and then after that, we just never saw anything to do with her and her career wise. We just knew she worked on that. But did we ever see anything more than that? More than that? Sorry, I don't know why I said that like that. My last point towards this section of the video, in which I would describe as Haley's repetition, would be that as much as I would like I would physically like to just be like, hey, who cares? It's just a repetition of this character. It doesn't matter if she went back into her old ways. It's completely fine. It's still Haley Dunphy, isn't it? I physically cannot. Like I can't say that about her. I can't just look at Haley Dunphy, see how much she has developed, and just seeing how she ended up, and just think, hey, whatever. I physically can't. I genuinely can't. Because we have been able to see what she is able to do. We have seen her work hard. We have seen her determined to make herself seen by other people. We have seen her trying to make other people see her for what she truly is. We have seen her do all of this. And to then just bring her down by making her seem like a copy of Claire is just And to then just see her waste all of this potential, waste everything that she's worked hard for, is kind of upsetting because we have seen her being so much more than what she is. And something else that I would like to mention is the fact that as women, we have seen in multiple occasions where we have been told that the only two choices that we do have would be between our jobs or our families. We never have an in between, and we can never choose an in between, which is crazy because imagine how much we could do with the amount of women that could also work whilst being mothers. We have seen this happen before, and we are still seeing it happen, but it isn't in the majority. A lot of women proceed to decide to stay at home because they're either pressured or because they believe that it is the best option for them, which is great. I'm not judging them. It's completely great to stay with your children, love your children, take care of them, let them grow. But for them to have to give up on their hopes and dreams to just become mothers, to just be subjected to be mothers, is absolutely ridiculous. Hey, it's me again. I just wanted to make a couple of points from the point that I had just made. As we have known, there have been multiple women who have had this question thrown at them, being continuously asked to make a choice, which personally I believe is not completely fair. Why should we be asked and condemned to make a choice between raising and loving our children and being asked to get rid of our own personalities, get rid of our accomplishments, and get rid of our success? Why should we as women be put in such a tiny spot where as soon as we become mothers? And why aren't men put to the same standard? Why are they celebrated and why are they rejoiced when they put their careers first and their families second? Why can't it be both? Why can't it be neither? And this point I feel really touches on Haley, because I feel like a lot of the characteristics that we saw her as a hardworking woman, thriving to go towards her goal, going towards her jobs, getting so many new and fresh roles. She could have been so much, but all of that was given up because they wanted to focus mainly on a role, prioritizing her being a mother, taking care of her kids, and taking care of her husband, which is great, but why couldn't we have both? Why did we only need to have one? I feel like it would have been great to see her, especially as Claire as one of her role models. It would have been great to see her as a mother, working hard as a mother, but at the same time thinking about her job and working hard as an independent woman. The last section of the video that I want to talk about would be something that touches a lot on the section from beforehand as well. I did title this last section as the basic bitch section, as I will explain why I titled it that, but you'll see why. As we all do know, Haley does end up getting back with Dylan, her high school sweetheart. And this is very much a shocker to me. When I first saw it, it was very much shocking because I was like, excuse me? But they do get back together as Haley and Arvin. Do you remember Arvin? Fucking hate that guy. The British guy, the guy that Haley cheated on with Dylan. I kind of think he deserved it.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But after her and Avin do break up, Haley and Dylan proceed to get back together as Haley realizes that she wants to get with a man that is always going to be there for her and is always going to love her for who she truly is. Also, I do want to mention, have y'all ever noticed how Dylan has had like 100 million jobs? That man's resume is going to be like so good. Because like, he works as a limousine driver. Then what else was he? He was a t-shirt designer. Then he was in a band. Then he worked, I don't know in what restaurant he worked, but then he was like doing signs and shit like that. But man, Dylan, he was everywhere. I loved seeing that man everywhere. He was just comedically amazing. And as I don't remember which season it is, I'll probably put it on the screen somewhere when I figure out which season it is. But as that season goes by and Haley and Dylan have gotten back together, much to Claire's demise, we do have a piqued interest on one episode that I want to talk about. which would be the episode in which Alex get a job interview with a government person who's also the mother from Thunderman. Have you ever noticed that? That was crazy. I remember seeing it and I was like, do I know this woman? But in this episode, Luke, who has been going to community college and has picked up another course, tells them what their attributes and personalities entail in their lives. And we figure out that Haley has pretty much a Peter Pan syndrome attribute. So for those people that don't know, the Peter Pan syndrome, as said by Google, is a popular psychology term used to describe an adult who has difficulty growing up, which is very much fitting to Haley as she is very much an adult who still acts like a teenager, which I generally do love because she's a boss. She can do whatever she wants. Because of this, she proceeds to drag Dylan to a 4 hour and 30 minutes play to be able to seem grown whilst watching a very serious play. But in true Haley and Dylan fashion, they proceed to ditch watching the play and proceed to head over to the fun fair across the road or across the street? I don't know, I'm not American. So that's way too fast. Imagine if I wanted to edit that. Anyways, I hope I can edit that. If I can't, then I don't know, man. It's not on me right now. It's on me when I'm editing. And they go off to the fun fair as they say that they would be the oldest at the fun fair because every other person there would be a child. It's so funny because, like, why did they come up with that? Like, how did they come up with that? That's just crazy. Well, we're gonna be the oldest there, so we're not really acting like children because we'll be the adults there. But whilst they're messing around on the bumper cars, not messing around like that, you dirty little perv. They're messing around because they're playing. Okay, thank you. But whilst they're messing around at the bumper cars, Haley does try to fix her lipstick as she notices that her lipstick is not very much staying on. I need to put my lip gloss. Okay, I'm back. So, as Haley is trying to fix her lipstick as she realizes that it's smudged on the side, Dylan rams into the back of her bumper car and accidentally gets her lipstick stuck up her nose. And long story short, they do proceed to go to the hospital, and whilst they do a blood test to her, they realize, well, they don't realize, and that's quite literally just tells them that Haley is pregnant. And just to make a really, really long story immediately way shorter, they proceed to go throughout the whole pregnancy. They have ups and downs, but they go through the pregnancy, they're together, and Haley proceeds to propose to Dylan. They get married, and then they proceed to give birth to Poppy and George. I'm not gonna lie, but the whole pregnancy story and the whole like marriage story I actually find really, really cute. They do seem like a really cute couple. I have no beef against Dylan. I actually really like Dylan. He's another one of my favorite characters, and he's absolutely the sweetest. And when I used to be little, I used to actually have a crush on Dylan because I thought he was really cute, but we don't talk about it. But like I have mentioned before, her whole pregnancy and her whole marriage and the way her whole career story ended and her whole character story ended just felt very generic, especially very generic for a character such as Haley Dunphy, which is really weird because if you look at Haley, you would think of a very much extravagant ending or a very posh ending. You would think about something very big. You wouldn't just think about something so simple and so everyday type of thing. But that is how they proceed to end the whole arc from Haley Dunphy season 1 up to Haley Dunphy season 11. I still don't know how it ends. I don't know which season finishes. I do not know. I don't know. Don't ask me. As she proceeds to turn from Haley Dunphy over to Haley Marshall, and we don't see her as very much a Dunphy anymore. We just see her more as, you know, Haley and Dylan. And I feel very unfulfilled, especially in that ending with Haley, as I thought she would have had more. Like I explained before, I have had dreams about generally how she would have ended, and the way she ended was generally just like, she's just like every other By that, I mean, Do you know in every single movie that you've watched, especially from the early 2000s, you would see the mean popular girl and you would see them being horrible in high school, or like horrible in quotation marks, and having great fashion sense, being really pretty, having the older boyfriend, just all of that. Basically, what Haley has had from the very first seasons. And then, especially in those movies that go forward in the future, you will see them proceeding to be housewives, pregnant with their husband, which turned out to be a dummy, and just I don't know. And it just very much just gives the mean girl effect, just how everyone just ends up being the same, as the mean girl might have had some type of characteristic that they might have had throughout their whole journey, but all of that would have been cast aside as soon as she got pregnant, and all the main focus would be towards her being a mother and her just genuinely not having any other characteristics except from that one. And just as a very wise man had quoted before,
I was just starting to think you were okay. I was thinking, Nancy Wheeler, she's not just another suburban girl who thinks she's rebelling by doing exactly what every other suburban girl does, until that phase passes and they marry some boring one-time jock who now works sales, and they live out a perfectly boring little life at the end of a cul-de-sac, exactly like their parents, who they thought were so depressing. But now, hey, they get it.
and I generally do believe that that has happened, or that has been the end for so many characters. That has been something that a lot of characters have suffered with and are still suffering with, because writers give up on them so easily and they don't have any type of character development. They don't have any type of emotions, they don't have any characteristics, they don't have anything, they don't give anything to these characters, and then they proceed to make them the villain because we have had those villains in the past. They were based off of a bully I had in secondary. That's why I didn't give her the character development that she deserved. Wink wink, Chloe Bourgeois from stupid Miraculous Ladybug. Why the fuck did that guy just turn her back into the mean girl? She was such a great character. We're not going to talk about that right now because I'm going to get so angry. Just to make a very long video into a short little segment at the end of my second video, just to make a long story short, I would say that writers, please don't be lazy. Please don't ruin a great character that could have had such great potential just because you wanted them to have the same faith as their mother, or wanted them to repeat the same faith of so many mean girls before them. There's so much more to a character than the portrayal that you have put them on from the very beginning. They can develop like people develop. Sometimes people don't develop, and that's on them. But focus on the people that do develop. Focus on the people that do grow, and make your characters based off on people that do grow. Because if you keep just making them into the mean, popular, stereotypical, sorry, I can't speak English. Don't bully me. Don't bully me. Then you're just gonna have a carbon copy of so many other shows before you, and after a while, that gets very, very boring. Not saying that Modern Family is boring though, because I watch that 24/7 every single day, all my life, because I have no social life. But that's all I've had to say about Haley Dunphy as a character on her whole. I do have very much a lot of opinion on other characters from Modern Family as well, which I will be making videos on as well. But I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I hope that all of this gets taken, I don't want to say seriously because the show is finished, so what are we taking seriously right now? But don't take this all to heart. This is just me commenting, me giving my own opinion, so don't think too much of it, okay? Don't think too much of it. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you have a nice day. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I don't know, I hope you got that water, by the way, because I still remember that. I still remember. You better have got that water. I will be in your walls if you didn't get that water. Okay, but anyways, bye.